A single tube, a flash of fire, and suddenly, even a heavily armored vehicle isn't as safe as it looks. RPGs have shown up everywhere, from battlefields to movies to video games, and they're often treated like simple, brute force weapons. But the truth is, there's a lot more going on than just pulling a trigger and hoping for the best. So how does an RPG work? Behind that brief burst of flame is a carefully engineered system that relies on physics, timing, and explosive design to work at all. Let's break down what's actually happening step by step, right here, on History of Simple Things. An RPG, short for rocket-propelled grenade, is a shoulder-fired weapon designed to launch an explosive rocket toward a target, most commonly vehicles, fortifications, or concentrated enemy positions. Despite the name, an RPG is not a guided missile system. Once fired, the rocket follows a largely unguided flight path. The term originates from a Russian abbreviation describing a handheld anti-tank grenade launcher, and the English phrase rocket-propelled grenade came later as a simplified translation. The most well-known example is the RPG-7, a reusable launcher introduced in the 1960s that can fire different types of rockets depending on the mission. What makes RPGs especially notable is their balance of simplicity, portability, and destructive capability, which has kept them in use across the world for decades. At first glance, an RPG launcher looks like little more than a metal tube with a grip and a sight, but it plays a crucial role in how the weapon functions. When the operator pulls the trigger, it doesn't immediately send a high-speed rocket screaming forward. Instead, a small ignition charge activates a booster at the rear of the rocket, gently pushing it out of the tube. This initial push is intentionally low power to reduce recoil and limit danger to the person firing it. Once the rocket has traveled a short, safe distance away from the launcher, the main rocket motor ignites. This delayed ignition is one of the key design features that allows RPGs to be fired from the shoulder without knocking the user off balance or causing severe injury. After the main motor ignites, the rocket accelerates forward under its own thrust, powered by a solid fuel propellant. Unlike bullets fired from a gun, RPG rockets do not rely on spin from rifling to stay stable. Instead, they use deployable fins that snap open once the rocket leaves the launcher. These fins act like the feathers on an arrow, keeping the rocket pointed forward and preventing it from tumbling mid-air. Some designs also introduce a slight spin to improve stability, but accuracy still depends heavily on the operator's aim and distance to the target. Because the rocket is unguided, factors like wind, movement, and range all play a significant role in whether it hits where it's intended. The real destructive power of an RPG comes from its warhead, particularly those designed to defeat armor. Most anti-tank RPG rounds use a shape charge, which is a specially designed explosive that focuses its energy into a narrow, high-velocity jet. Inside the warhead is a hollow cavity lined with metal, often copper. When the explosive detonates, this metal liner collapses inward and forms a jet that travels at extreme speed. Rather than relying on raw explosive force, this jet concentrates pressure onto a very small area, allowing it to penetrate thick armor. This effect is based on physics and precise geometry, not just the size of the explosion, which is why relatively small RPG warheads can punch far above their weight. Not all RPGs are the same, and over time, many variations have been developed for different battlefield roles. Some launchers are reusable and can fire multiple rocket types, while others are disposable, single-use weapons designed for speed and convenience. Warheads can be optimized for anti-armor, anti-personnel, or bunker-breaching tasks. More advanced designs include tandem charge warheads, which use a small initial charge to trigger explosive reactive armor before the main charge detonates. This evolution reflects how RPGs have adapted to changing defensive technologies while keeping the core concept intact. A simple, portable system capable of delivering explosive force at range. Despite their reputation, RPGs are not unstoppable weapons. Their unguided nature makes them less effective at long distances, and modern tanks with layered composite armor are far more resistant to older RPG designs. The backblast produced when firing can also expose the shooter's position and makes firing from enclosed spaces dangerous without proper training. Still, RPGs remain widely used because they are inexpensive, easy to maintain, and effective in many combat situations, especially in urban or asymmetric warfare. Their continued presence is less about cutting-edge technology and more about practicality and reliability. At its core, an RPG is a clever combination of simple mechanics and powerful physics. A controlled launch, delayed propulsion, stabilized flight, and a precisely engineered warhead all work together in a matter of seconds. It's not just a tube that fires an explosion, it's a system designed to balance usability, safety, and destructive effectiveness. Understanding how an RPG works helps strip away the mystery and reveals why this weapon has remained relevant for so long. It's a reminder that even the most familiar objects, especially those seen briefly on screen or in headlines, often have deeper stories rooted in engineering and science. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.